Hey there, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build video. Today what I have for you is a vet clinic and pet training center. So let's go ahead and hop on over into that build and I'll show you around. Hi there folks, for anyone who is new here, my name is Ash, also known as Ash the Advocate, and this is yet another build for my From Scratch world. In particular, today's build is the vet clinic in Brindleton Bay. This is on the 40 by 30 lot where the vet clinic that comes with the world is usually at, but obviously with a From Scratch world, you want to kind of like redesign it. You want to be able to make it fresh, and so this was me kind of like making my own vet clinic. I've been doing a lot of residentials within this world, my like from scratch world sort of thing, but I really wanted to start adding some of those non-residentials, and so the vet clinic felt like it was a beautiful challenge to kind of start with. So right now we're kind of building the basic shape, and the first shape that I built for this is definitely not the way that it stays. I think that we're really kind of trying to understand what types of rooms I wanted to have, the way that I wanted things to be, and you'll see we have kind of like these big blocks. And so what we've got is we've got the front lobby, we've got the hallway, two bathrooms, one that connects to the lobby and one that connects to the back area. There is two exam rooms, a surgical room, a medicine sort of lab type of deal, and then a employee break room. So those were kind of the goals for the rooms that I wanted to do, but I also wanted to have the back lot be like a pet training area, because I think that that's really a huge aspect of Brindleton Bay, and it feels like an aspect that I typically forget exists even, that there is that whole pet training thing. I always think of Brindleton Bay as like, oh yeah, we got cats, we got dogs, we got the vet, we got the veterinarian skill, but pet training is also like part of it. So, you know, I thought that it would be really cool to kind of have this combo lot, where you can go to not only get your pets taken care of health-wise, but also you can go and train them, maybe meet other pet owners. So that was really the whole goal. So you'll see that I just reoriented the whole building to kind of give more space in the back for that pet area. What we're doing now is we're kind of getting the roofing done, and what I will say about this build is I actually tried very, very hard to make it limited when it came to packs. This build actually only has 3 packs, and you'll see that whenever I kind of show the gallery lot, and that is Cats and Dogs, Parenthood, and Eco Lifestyle. And I think the only Eco Lifestyle item is in fact the dumpster. So hypothetically, you don't even necessarily need Eco Lifestyle for this build. If you wanted to download it, you really just would end up without the dumpster. But I thought that that was kind of a fun challenge, because obviously with a vet clinic, like there's not a whole lot of things that you're gonna need outside of majorly the vet things that come with cats and dogs. But, you know, I think that the dumpster does add a realism, because most of the time these lots that are kind of more like the public lots, they're not going to have like a tiny little trash can. They're going to have a full dumpster where there's like a dump service or a waste management service within the town that comes and picks them up. So that was really the goal with doing the dumpster on the lot, was to kind of have that waste management service. So here we're picking out doors. We have kind of done the windows on the exterior, and we're trying to kind of start that layout. When I was setting up the vending machines in the front, these vending machines are primarily the pet med vending machines, and I know some people, because the vet system can be kind of annoying to deal with, sometimes it's just cool to drop by the vet clinic, pick up a bunch of like wellness treats from the vending machines, and then scoot on out of there and take care of your pet at home. So just making sure that those were accessible is a huge thing, in my opinion at least. But I also wanted to include a human vending machine. So it's a very standard thing, but I made it white so that it kind of fits the color scheming here. I was really going for a teal, white, gray, just something that like seemed very clean or very easy to notice when something was dirty, so that way you could clean it in a timely manner. So getting into the bathrooms, what I really wanted out of these bathrooms is I wanted it to be versatile. So first and foremost, obviously, human bathroom needs, toilet, sink, but also animal bathroom needs. So a litter box, and then a bathtub, because obviously like you can bathe your pets here. I kind of imagined that like sometimes with the vet employees, they would bring like the cats or the dogs in, and so there's like that laundry hamper that comes with parenthood. There's the shelf above that has clean towels. There's the little rack that has all of like the shampoos and stuff. And then I just did mirror image for the bathroom that goes into the back, because I didn't think that it really needed to be anything too different, but because of the window placement and because it was kind of rotated, the only thing that really had to change was there was a cabinet over the toilet that needed to just be adjusted. So now we're kind of coming back into the main lobby. I am trying to decide on couches, seating. I think that the cat tree here really adds a cute little detail, because really the goal is pet comfort. That was really the whole idea here, is it's comfortable for your Sims to come visit. It's also comfortable for your pets to come visit, because that's the big thing, is that this is primarily about pet owners. It's about pet owners and their pets being able to come and get the care that they need, do their training, all of that wonderful stuff. So that was really the goal for this build, was to focus on pet owners and pets. So I've also added a cat tree into the back hallway. So there's a couple of little details there for your pets to be comfortable around the building. So that way, this place is not just a place where they come and get treated, but it's also a place where you can hang out with your pets, you can work on training, just all of those beautiful things. Because I think that that's what makes a lot more versatile, especially the vet clinic lot that can be very annoying, is when there's multiple purposes to it. That makes you want to go to the lot more. We're adding some toy bins, things like that. So now we're kind of getting into the exam rooms, and I do very similar decor in these, as well as very similar layouts in these, but I do it slightly different because they're oriented differently. So my biggest goals were to obviously have the exam table, because you can't have an exam room without the exam table, to have some form of like a vet cart that has tools and materials. I wanted somewhere for the owners to sit. And then I think something that's very realistic for a doctor's office is that counter area and the above cabinets, where there's probably like a bunch of storage for different things. So, the cotton swabs and extra treats and things like that. And so I really, experimented with that a little bit, and I really liked how it came out, because it also gave some extra surface room to put things like the little bits of clutter that come in cats and dogs. And with that, I ended up using the Parenthood cabinets. I was originally trying to do this build as only cats and dogs, and then when I used the hampers from Parenthood in the bathrooms, I was like, well, we can throw Parenthood in there too. Why not? Let's go for it. So, I was still very shocked that I was able to keep it such limited pack, because sometimes like it is very difficult with how many packs there are in The Sims 4 at this time to keep it very limited. So I was very proud of myself that I kept it limited to what I did. Now we are getting into the surgery room, and I kind of wanted to make this in a way that there are two separate stations that could be used, and I kind of use these dividers to try and like separate it out, kind of make it into two rooms. We have the active x-rays up, so that way the docs can reference it as they're doing surgery. So I really just wanted to kind of make this, very treatment focused, because that's the whole point of the surgery room. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. It just, quite literally, all you need in that room is the surgery machine. So I kind of like sized it down from what I originally had, because I really didn't need that much space. I felt like it was taking up too much space, but it also gave some more room in the hallway to be able to do this whole little setup where there's like a little table, and then I can imagine this is like an events board, or like if there's a kid in the neighborhood who's hosting a dog walking service, they can post their little flyer there. Now we're working on the employee break room, and this is nothing too crazy, to be honest. It's very basics. where there's like a little table they can eat at, some cabinets, the fridge, the microwave, coffee machine. But I also end up adding some lockers because I feel like employee locker storage is very important. I end up reusing that corkboard that I put in the main hallway because I'm thinking like, oh, it's the schedules, it's like all of those like legal things that have to be put up with in a workplace to say like, these are your rights. So I felt like that was very realistic for in the employee break room. So that's kind of like the whole idea behind the employee break room. But then this is where we get into adding more of that like pet stuff in the hallway. I was like, oh yes, the cat tree down here at the end. And then we get into the medicine room, and I'm thinking about this as like a pharmacy. So we've got the two machines back to back, and I really wanted to create like almost a false like medicine cabinet sort of thing where they're kind of like mixing up the meds in the pharmacy, and they're like going to the shelf and like grabbing this or grabbing that, and then I'm like, oh, a mini fridge, because like there are some medications that have to be cold. So we kind of set up the two little like pharmacist stations from there, and then we have the little spaces for the pet owners to wait while they're waiting for their medications to be filled. Then we have the little inspirational posters that come with the cats and dogs pack, a little dog bed. We're adding a little cat bed out there. So just really kind of adding a lot of those cute little details. Scratching post. I just really wanted to kind of focus on not making the environment overstimulating, but still kind of having at least a level of organization to it. So now we're actually getting into the back patio area where we've got kind of a split sort of situation here. On one side of it is the pet training area. The other side of it is just a free roam area. And so what I'm doing here is I'm actually going on the gallery and I'm getting some catnip plants. There are all kinds of things that people upload to the gallery that you can download and, use to put in your builds. If there are any of the like items that are not usually unlocked, if there are any grown plants that you want to put in your build, if you're looking for, let's say, the drink to get rid of your vampirism. People upload these things in rooms onto the gallery all the time. Bless these people. Love them for it. It really came in handy here so that way we could get some catnip plants. But I also like the greenery that it adds because I think that it's very functional greenery. So I had a time here kind of laying out the training area. I wanted it to kind of make sense, but still have the things be independent, because obviously in a competition setting, it's going to be much more flowed out, but where it's such a tight space, I wanted to make sure that I had enough of stuff, but still kind of like had it in a way that you could still do a fake run. So now we're getting into like the little play area. We're doing some landscaping. I wanted to add some trees, but I really did want it to blend in with the environment. So we're kind of focusing on birch trees so that, we kind of have a lot of the trees in the environment that have that white branching. So just really focusing on the blending of it all. Then we're getting into bushes, and I had it fully intended this little bump here to kind of be a garden bed with bushes and flowers and things like that. So we're kind of just adding that line that kind of distinguishes. We're doing some flowers in front of the bigger bushes, and then kind of doing some flowering and some bushes around that like front entranceway. I am someone who I don't like doing a whole ton of overwhelming landscaping. I think that there's some landscaping that you can do too much of it. And honestly, bless the people who can make it look pretty doing a whole ton of landscaping. I'm just not one of those people. I am not very great at landscaping. So you'll see with the trees, I'll add a little bit of grass there and things like that, because I imagine it's a little bit overgrown around the trees. And one thing that I did add that I thought was really cute was next to the tree in the front, I added a little memorial stone. And I thought that that was something that was just really a cute detail, where maybe it's the idea is the vet owner, had a pet at one point that passed away and they wanted to honor their pet. Or it could be a memorial that says to all of the pets who have been lost, we will always remember you, and we will take care to prevent loss like yours in the future. Just something really sweet and down to earth in that way. So now we're getting into terrain paint. I've already kind of terrain painted the front. And then when it came to terrain painting the whole training ground, I originally started with like painting underneath things because I figured it would be a little bit rugged. But I also wanted to kind of do what are called desire paths. And I don't know if you would be familiar with the concept of desire paths, but it's essentially when there's not a clear pathway made, but there's an easier route to go around, people will use a desire pathway. So when you're seeing like a lead up to a building where the grass is kind of run in instead of people using the sidewalk, that's a desire path. So that was my whole concept with that terrain paint. But we are actually getting to the end of the build here, as we always do with the end with terrain paint. So I'm actually going to hop into my game and I will show off the build for you. Alright, so here we are. This is the build. I've named it the Hometown Vet and Training, and I've given it the lot trait of training ground, since this is going to allow you to gain your pet training skill faster when you're on this lot. So it has that extra benefit if you want to kind of like bring your pets here for training. But just to kind of show you around, this is the front exterior. We've got the main sign out front. We've got the sort of side street sign. So that way, like you can kind of see it from walking down the street. Then this is what I was talking about with the little memorial plate. I think that's really cute because I think that there's something about us pet owners that our pets are close to our heart. And it really does hurt whenever we lose it, and pets really are members of our family. So to be able to honor and memorialize them in the same way is very special. So coming into our clinic, you come through the front door, you're in the lobby, you will check in at the little kiosk, you can kind of sit and like have your little cat play on the tree, you have your dog play with the toys. The vending machines are right over to the side. If you need to use the bathroom, or even if your pet needs to use the bathroom while you're waiting, you can come on in to our first little bathroom over here. So there's everything that you kind of need to take care of things while you're there. Once you get called back, the first place you'll go is you'll come back. They may have you sit right here while they clean up the room, but you'll know that you are next to go in. You'll come into one of two of our exam rooms. So our first one is over here. In this one, we've got the dog x-ray and the dog diagram, but they have a very basic similar layout, just kind of like flipped around slightly. And then this one has the cat diagram and the cat x-ray. So we'll get to this back door here in a moment, but let's say your pet needs a little bit of extra treatment. So you'll come on down and they might have you sit in one of these chairs while you're waiting, while your pet comes in and gets their surgery done at one of our state-of-the-art surgery machines. And then maybe after they finish surgery, you'll have to take them home and you'll have to give them some meds so that way they can get better. So you'll come and you'll wait in our little pharmacy area while you wait for them to make your pet's meds specifically designed for them. Our employees, when they want to take a break, they can kind of come down here to the end of the hallway, make some coffee. When they start their shift, they put stuff in their lockers, they can check the schedule. So all of those wonderful things. And then coming to the back of the lot, we have our little porch here. Again, those catnip plants, which are functional. So if you're a cat owner, you can harvest them. And it seems like we are experiencing that glitch where it erases terrain paint. So, we love The Sims 4. But we have the pet play area on this side with some toys, a little trash can to put, your doggy dookies with a little sign that warns you, hey, clean up after your babies. And then we have the whole pet training area. So you can find this build on the gallery under the name Hometown Vet in Training. My user on the gallery is SocialSim99. And like I said during the speed build, we only have 3 packs here that we use. Eco Lifestyle, Cats and Dogs, and Parenthood. And as I said, The only thing from Eco Lifestyle really is the dumpster. So truthfully, you don't even really need Eco Lifestyle. So this is definitely a great build for anyone who doesn't have a whole ton of packs, but still wants to have, you know, kind of a cute vet clinic. So yeah, feel free to download it if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed this speed build video just as much as I enjoyed making it. And if you're ever interested in giving feedback or commentary, I actually do these live over at on Twitch, so feel free to hop over there and say hello sometime. If you are interested in seeing more of my speed build videos or even more of my variety gaming content, feel free to subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.